Hi everybody, Mike here with you guys once again, and I have a couple of things I want to talk about, and that is my thoughts on the ESRB, since it's their 20th anniversary. It was their 20th anniversary this year, and I also wanted to do a review on the Game Awards, which I was fortunate enough to be able to watch last night because my internet was actually kind enough to let me do it. We'll start with the ESRB. The ESRB came out 20 years ago because of controversy surrounding Mortal Kombat and Night Trap. But I don't understand why Night Trap was so controversial, because nobody played it. Nobody cared about it except for these politicians who didn't play video games. No one cared about the Sega CD. It was just, we didn't play it. And I think by that time Sega already had their own rating system in place. The GA and the MA ratings that Sega put on their games. And then, of course, you had the other game that caused controversy was one that was relevant and we did care about, and that was Mortal Kombat. And I understood why it caused controversy back then, because any kid could walk into and if they knew the codes, which, face it, we all did, we all knew what the codes were, all the fatalities, we knew how to do them, you could see gore, blood and gore. And so I understood the need for a rating system and all of that. And it was important because it prevented censorship for the most part. I say for the most part because of the AO rating, which I will get into in a minute. But yeah, the ESRB based their rating system precisely after the movies. And there's been a few alterations here and there. For the most part, they're similar to what we see in film. And for the most part, they're pretty accurate. I would say the only game that I think is rated too harshly would be the Halo franchise. The Halo franchise, I feel should be rated teen, because I feel the content in Halo rivals that of PG-13 movies rather than R-rated films. And let's face it, Halo and Grand Theft Auto feel like they're made for two very different age groups. If you look at the content for both Halo and Grand Theft Auto, there's no comparison. Okay, but the main issue that I have with the ESRB right now, and something it's a flaw that they have in their system, I think, is the AO rating. It shouldn't exist, because anything above a T should be an M. And the reason why I feel the AO rating shouldn't exist is because it really just means B for banned. It's a way to censor games. Not many of this isn't a problem for the most part, but if anybody remembers Manhunt 2, how that game was butchered, it was butchered so badly that there hasn't been a sequel to the franchise since. So, yeah. So my advice to the ESRB, your rating system's great, but two things. Number one, Halo should be rated teen, and the AO rating shouldn't exist. Anything above a T should be an M. That way, anything is permissible, anything is permitted, and everything is permitted and can be sold on the market and made a huge profit off of. So there we go. That's my thoughts on the ESRB. Overall, I think it's a good system. It's very reliable. And another thing that I have to say that I like is that, unlike movies today, ratings in games are where movies were in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, because we can have M-rated blockbusters. Because, as you know, with movies, it has to be PG-13. Imagine if that were to happen to games. It could one day. And that's what worries me. Because, imagine GTA having to be rated teen. Imagine Bioshock, or just any big franchise, has to be rated teen because of market appeal or whatever, because they want to maximize their profits. I'm surprised they haven't done this yet. But the gaming industry proves, at least right now, that they're proving that you can't have R-rated blockbusters. Movies, it's time to get back to that. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the ESRB. Let's now get to the Game Awards, and I have to say, there was really no reason to watch them, because all the premieres were either teasers, which didn't give us enough of a hint. The only thing that excited me about a couple of the teasers was that they were created by studios who created great games, such as the Fulbright company. They had a teaser for a new game, and the only thing that really excited me about it was the fact that it was made by the creators of Gone Home, and it's a first-person view, and it looks a little bit interesting, but there's not enough to really tell me what it's about. And the thing that I have to say about these teasers is, indie developers, if you're new, if you haven't come up with a game before that we all know about, give us more than just a teaser, because all I see half the times are camera pans over these environments that look indie-ish but don't tell me anything. They don't tell me whether I want this game or not. So you have a lot more to prove if you're a new indie developer. So show me gameplay, explain to me, or if you don't have gameplay, explain to me what you're trying to do gameplay-wise and thematically. So yeah, overall there was just no real reason. There was no reason to watch it, really. There was hardly any. I can't think of any. Okay, there is one. I will say one thing. Nintendo got it right, because they showed footage of Zelda on the Wii U, and it looks awesome. The thing that I'm excited about with this is that Zelda's always been kid friendly, and I think this one will be appropriate for kids as well. But it won't look cartoony, and it will give kids the chance to have a Skyrim-like experience. Imagine Skyrim in third person without all the mature content, and being able to let your kids play it. I've said for a long time that, and I need to make a video on this, that they should make kid games with the same mechanics that you see in mature games. Make RPGs, make open world games, make choose your own adventure games, and make them appropriate for kids so that they can have the same type of experiences that we adults have. I think that would go a long way. I think there's no reason why kids shouldn't be able to have these types of gameplay and mechanic experiences. I really think that they would love it just as much as we do. So yeah, the only thing to watch the only thing that I felt was worth watching that really stuck out to me overall would have to be Nintendo's Zelda reveal, because it looked awesome. The other gripe was that it was way too long. It was 3 hours long. It started at 9 Eastern, ended at midnight. I needed to go to bed before that and was forced to stay up. I was actually supposed to go to my friend's house to hang out, and I was hoping I'd be able to do it after the awards so I could talk to him about it. But alas, by the time the awards were over, I was ready for sleep, and I went to sleep. So yeah, the awards were too long, and there wasn't a whole lot worth watching. So if you didn't watch it, you really didn't miss much. I will say, if you can find a clip online of Nintendo's showing off more of Zelda for the Wii U, definitely check that out. Otherwise, there was really nothing to that show at all. It was just 3 hours of. And as far as the game of the year, I have to say, I don't. It was, when you look at the game of the year nominees, you could tell that this was a weak year for games. You could just tell. Most of the games that we were excited for were underwhelming, did not make the cut, and those that did make the cut, well, I won't even consider AAA games. I consider them AA games. It was cool to see a Lord of the Rings game get that nomination because of, tie-in games, licensed games don't really do well, and we finally have a good Lord of the Rings game, and I've played Shadow of Mordor. It's the only one on that list that I have played, and I thought, wow, that's like cool, because it's a Lord of the Rings game, and it got that nomination, so it's great for that franchise. But Dragon Age Inquisition won, and even though I've heard some great things about the game itself, I've heard that there are too many bugs, and I've looked up online, there are game-crashing bugs on all platforms, and because of that, I don't think it should have been nominated, and I don't think it should have won, unless they patched it up by now. Maybe they did, I don't know. If they patched it up, yeah, go ahead and win it, BioWare, because BioWare is an amazing developer. But as far as, but if the bugs are still there, then no. You should not award a broken game. So, maybe they fixed it. If they did, more power to BioWare, but if the issues still persist, then they did not deserve that award, because no broken game should get Game of the Year, or even get nominated. And we had a lot of broken games this year, unfortunately. And I was surprised Sunset Overdrive didn't get the nomination, or South Park Stick of Truth. But anyways, so yeah, those are my thoughts on the Game Awards, and on the ESRB. I'm hoping that I'll be able to watch something related to the PlayStation experience, because I want to talk about that in a future video. So if I watch anything regarding the PlayStation experience, if anything gets streamed or posted online and I can watch it, I will do so, and then I will do a video on it later on. So thank you guys for watching. Those are my thoughts on the ESRB and the the Game Awards. Now I'm used to calling it the VGAs, or the Video Game Awards, which is the Game Awards. I think it was cool that they did get rid of most of the celebrities and focus just on game developers and even gamers at times. But yeah, that was cool. But hopefully we'll get some better games next year, and I think that will make the Game Awards even better next year. That's all I gotta say. Bye bye, everybody.